This hem sample is for knits and it's called the double needle. It's a wonderful hem to do for knits because it stretches. You use a double needle and notice it has a single shank. Before I show you the sizes of those needles, let's look at the back side of this. There are 2 threads for the needles, but there's only 1 bobbin thread. And as the thread goes from needle to needle, it creates a zigzag stitch, and that's what creates the stretch. Now let's look at the 2 needles you could use. We have a stretch needle, which is wonderful for knits, and we have an all-purpose or universal tip. This is a partial ballpoint, but unfortunately we don't have the stretch needle in the width that I like. So the stretch needle has 2,5/75, so that's a size 75, and this marks the distance between the 2 needles. I prefer this one where it's the 4,090, where the needles are further apart and will give you a wider stitch, which is what I did for this original sample. To prep your fabric, you'll need one of your knit squares, and we will press the raw edge up 1 inch, or whatever you want to for your shirt if you were doing this for your project. Okay, let's go over to the machine and we'll switch out our needle. Put your needle in a safe place. The flat part of the double needle, or excuse me, the shank, goes towards the back. Push it up all the way and then tighten the screw. We need 2 threads on top, and you don't need to go buy 2 spools of thread. You can just put some of your spool of thread on a bobbin, and we'll have that at the top. The bottom could be matching or contrasting thread. We'll go ahead and put the first spool right here on the horizontal spool pin, and then we'll put the bobbin on the vertical spool pin. This one will be our right needle, this one will be our left needle. So go ahead and do the right one first. The threads will share everything except the needle. Now we'll do the left needle. And like I said, they share, oops, I need the presser foot up. They share everything except the needle. Now, when you do a double needle, you need to make sure your needle stays in the center position. I'll put my threads under the presser foot. I'm going to put my hand on the hand wheel, and I'm going to just put the needles down and back up so the take-up lever is in its highest position, because I like to bring the bobbin thread up from the hook area. Okay, our fabric is prepared. As we stitch on this, we want the needles, at least the left needle, to be close to this edge. You don't want to be stitching down here and end up with a large flap of fabric. Okay. We will put the fold on the 7/8 line. Take your time. Then cut your thread tails. And let's see if our stitch caught on the back. Okay, there's the zigzag stitch. Here's the double needle on the front. Looked like it curled a little bit right there, but that makes a nice double needle hem stitch. Now, one thing I didn't tell you about the needles, even with the stretch one, but especially on the universal, always test the needle out on your fabric to make sure it's not going to leave holes in your fabric.